It is I, John O'Regan, the uncommon voice for the common man, where I have emerged from my bubble to say exactly this. 3 cheers to Papa John's. That's right. Papa John's made the conscious decision yesterday, which would be February 28th, to disavow themselves from the NFL Players Lives Matter crowd. That's right. Papa John's has said nit to being the sponsor for the National Felon League. You know it better as the NFL. Now, I am going to say a few words about this, but first let me go back and see if I could trace the history of this. Now, before I do that, let me explain. I am almost certain this is what happened, but I'm not 100% certain. And I may be injecting some of my opinion into these events, but it doesn't make any difference because what I say always matters. Now, from my understanding of it, Papa John's is losing a lot of money because they were advertising with the National Felon League, better known as the NFL. That's right, they were losing money. So in a conference call to the shareholders, John Shatner, who was beaming himself out all over the airwaves via the transporter, Scotty, to all his shareholders so that he could give his opinion on to why they were losing revenue because they were the sponsors of the National Felon League, better known as the NFL. What happened is in this conference call, he said something to the effect that the NFL should have done something about the kneeling problem last year. But of course, last year means that this goes back to when it first started, and that can be traced back to none other than Colin Kaepernick, and he was the one that started this whole thing, and that is exactly who Papa John was talking about. Now, of course, that got out on the airwaves, and of course, Papa John's a racist and all this and that and the other thing, and he was forced to step down as a CEO. The only problem of this is that he just happens to be the major shareholder of Papa John, so he can basically do whatever he wants to. And I've seen him on his commercials after he was relieved of being the CEO. So he must decide that it's better ingredients, better pizza, and better moral character, Papa John's. So there he is. He's out there making commercials. He doesn't want anything to do with the National Felon League, better known as the NFL. And I thought I would just come on here to say 3 cheers to him because this takes courage. Now, let's just compare and contrast this to other corporations that are ending their affiliation with the National Rifle Association over this horrible incident that happened down in Florida. Now, we all know that that little incident in Florida didn't have anything to do with the NRA. It had everything to do with the failure of government on every level. It doesn't make any difference. The FBI and their background checks, the Broward County, it's Broward County, for God's sakes. It's the dumbest county in the state of Florida. If I'm not mistaken, they were the same ones that when it was Al Gore was running for president against George Bush, they went in there on the butterfly ballots and mistakenly voted for Pat Buchanan, and then they're all out there in their Mercedes and stuff like that, whining and crying, oh no, we voted for the wrong man, we voted for Pat Buchanan, we meant to vote for Al Gore, oh my God. And they went to the state of Florida and said, look, we made a mistake, can we vote again? And the state of Florida laughed at them and said, get your asses out of here. So the dumbest county in America is capable of anything. What I understand, there was a deputy standing out there letting this thing go. Who knows? You know, I'm not here to go on and on about the NRA and this situation in Florida, but the fact of the matter is this. You see corporations everywhere dropping their affiliation with the NRA. Boy, it's a Freudian slip. The NRA, and now all of a sudden, one man stands up against the left-wing communists, and you don't hear anything about it. Nothing at all. All you hear about is the corporations that drop their affiliations with the NRA, but you don't hear a damn word about Papa John's. Now, as fate would have it, I actually work for Papa John's Corporation, and it turns out that some big executives were coming to the shop that I work in, and I was afraid that I might say something in favor of Papa John's in front of the corporate bigwigs when they were there. And I used that to my advantage because I didn't want to be there when they came in. So I told my general manager that if he left me in that store, I might say something favorable about Papa John's to our district regional vice president. And guess what? I work night turn today, and I might not have to deal with them at all. So see, sometimes it pays to be me. Until next time, this is your favorite conservative, Ronald Reagan, saying this: I'm back and I'm going to be back. But remember, when news breaks out, I break in. And 3 cheers for Papa John's. Better pizza, better ingredients, better character, Papa John's. Until next time, I say this to you: now, over and out.